Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome back to another Raid Share Legends video. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. If you got some free time off work, I hope you're just sitting, relaxing, eating, doing whatever you want, guys. I've been relaxing a little bit this past few days. Actually went for a swim today. Although it was a bit cold, it's still good weather here in Cyprus. So, Ramantu Drakesblood, guys. Was he worth it? I mean, as a completionist, the completionist part of me, and not as a completionist, I'm not really a completionist, as a person that likes to complete whatever we have here within the game. Ramantu is one of the parts. I mean, he's not as exciting as getting Arbiter, to be honest. Arbiter is a game-changing champion for the arena. Ramantu, not so much. He's not going to be a champion that you will be using for every single one of your fights in the arena or in the dungeons or anywhere, really. He's mostly gonna be used for arena, to be honest, and not that often. Ramantu Drakesblood is an end game champion that's very niche in what he does, and because he has this very unique A3, the Blood Wings, which actively blocks the active skills of enemies and also blocks the passive skills depending on what they have available, then that makes him very special in some situations where he's better than just having a Madame series that just strips buffs off the enemies and applies the defense down. It's actually better than having a defense down on enemies with just having Ramantu, or it's better than just having a buff strip. So very situational when you're going to use Ramantu. So I wasn't that excited in getting him, but I wanted to complete it just to get it out of the way. And then possibly if we ever have a continuation to the missions, then I'll be ready. I'll be ready for the very first mission after Ramantu to start and get going. But here he is. I got Ramantu a couple of days ago, and I was just waiting for CVC. That's how non-exciting he was for my account. Unlike Arbiter, I would say, which she immediately brings in the change. Big boost through her aura, big boost through her own boost, increased attack, A2 that removes buffs, she's got a revive, she's got an A1 that applies weaken. Very much different with Ramantu. He's not going to be applied into every single team. Unlike Lydia, for example. Lydia was a champion that I was excited. Everyone is excited about Lydia. She applies defense down a weaken. Ramantu doesn't do that. I mean, he doesn't do all that change to an account as these two champions did. Still a very good champion, still maxed him out. Okay, still got all of his masteries. I've built him with extra bit of accuracy, some masteries there to get some extra turn when debuffs are removed or expired. Evil Eye there because his A1 is pretty solid when he does manage to get one in there. He does help your allies and also increases the cooldowns of enemies. And then I went the defense route here just to get Cycle of Revenge and also the counterattack mastery Retribution, which can be nice just because of his A1. I didn't go War Master or anything on him because I'll probably never use him in dungeons for the time being, for the dungeons that we have available. Who knows in the future? And I've built him with an immunity set specifically for arena. That's what he's going to be used by the majority of players who complete all these missions for Ramantu. So unfortunately, he's not going to be used anywhere else by the end game players. It's in my mind, at least. I'm thinking about Ramantu. I'm thinking him in some teams. Where is he going to be used instead of somebody else? Maybe Firenet because he has a 4-hitting A2. Other than that, I think Arena is where he's going to be in there. And still, for me, I don't think I'm going to put Ramantu on defense. I'll have to rethink at least one of my teams for 3v3. Maybe I'll change the team in there and have Ramantu. But enough with the talk. Let's actually go and see him in action and see what we can do. Let's should we do a refresh? I think the teams here seem reasonable. There's Ramantu right here. Should we actually go and fight him? No, let's just fight this first team. So why Ramantu is so good against these types of teams is when these teams have a passive that is very strong. Very strong passives include Duchess Lily 2. Very strong passive right here. Decreased damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks. 25%. So if Ramantu can manage to block this, then they will be basically not getting this damage reduction. We will be doing more damage to them. And also the same thing with Ursaga. Very strong passive as well. If we manage to land that debuff, then it's gonna go way better for us. Honestly, this team, I think he should have had Sifi there in the lead instead of Duchess. But anyway, that's what he chose, and he went with it. Maybe he wanted to make the CP faster. I don't know. Just she might be very fast, so I might change it to Ramantu with Hedgie, and let's see what it's gonna happen with Ramantu and Hedgie. Let's not have this on auto, and let's see what we can do. So yeah, we're a little bit faster. You see here, my arbiter has a little bit more yellow on the bar for turn meter, so I would go first. I'm gonna go with the A2 here and see if we can lock out anyone. We get 2 stuns here, very solid. We get the speed boost there, and Ramantu, let's see if they've got too much resistance. My Ramantu is built with 500-ish accuracy, which is kind of low, but I don't have that good sets. Perception plus immunity, I don't have that good sets. So Ramantu managed to land the A3 on all of the enemies, and the A3 does different things depending on where it lands. So these handcuffs right there, those are only on champions that have a passive skill. If they don't have a passive skill, then he applies an block active skill, and that's it pretty much. Okay, very useful on Soulless, so he can go in there with his very annoying nuke, which also removes buffs, and the block passives for Duchess, which is the damage reduction as we saw before. For Sifi is the healing, and for Ursagar there is the huge damage mitigation on crits. So this should be a very good step for me in order to go in there with Trunda and do a solid nuke on them. Let's see. Look at that. We get Sifi down, but wow. We didn't go through without a savage. We didn't go through. I'll still go in there and see what we can do. So I can go with my A2 now with Ramantu. We can apply decreased defense, a weaken, decreased speed, a block buffs. All those have a 100% chance. Will we apply this? And if we apply it, then we can also apply a True Fear. So I think if the target has 4 or more debuffs after the attack. So it's very likely that we can do the 4 or more debuffs onto Duchess there. And there's the True Fear on enemies. So that's very solid in terms of crowd control. True Fear there on Soulless. We stop the revives. And then we'll do the A2 there on Ursaga and Big Burst. That was it. So he does have a very good kit, but it's very situational, as you see. So against this one, this is going to be a very tricky team to beat. It's going to be Hegemon versus Hegemon. But I'll still go. I don't think my Hegemon is faster, honestly. Oh, he is faster. Can we block him? It's all gonna be RNG. We actually stunned him. We blocked everyone from the enemy team. So very lucky Hegemon hits there. And we just wait for Ramantu to get a turn there. We didn't even get a turn. That was weird. Oh, because we got hit by the Terminator reduction. That was why. That was the reason. All right. So here, Torment, that's very useful to have Ramantu in there for Torment teams, but you do need the immunity set. Unfortunately, he's not immune to the freezes. He just gains Terminator. That passive is very, very weird. The passive that Ramantu has. So let's try and block them. All right. Lydia is there and being annoying. Let's try and apply this. We remove the buffs, block the passives on everybody. All right, that's great. Let's do the Terminator reduction on Duchess. She still did the buffs, which sucks. But look at that. Look at that. Very, very solid. And I think I'll do the A1 there. Decrease Terminator, increase cooldowns. That's what you want to see against the Sifi. I'm going to hit with the A1, hopefully. Now, wait, did he increase the cooldown of something else except the revive? That was bad. All right, we should kill them this way. And there's Ramantu. He allows for you to ignore those nasty passives. So you know, the nasty passive from Torment is his revive, which can, you know, extend the duration of fights. He doesn't have anything other on his passive other than the freeze, which really doesn't matter after you do your boost. So you'll do your boost before you manage to get a turn with Ramantu, so the freeze, you can't really avoid it, so you still need to use immunities if you have Ramantu. If he had it in some sort of passive, then I think Ramantu would have been insane. If he blocked all passives, I think he would have been insane. If maybe he had a block passives as a block passives until he gets a turn, then maybe he would have been more interesting instead of having it in his skill, since he's an attack-based champion, and I'm using him as a support, which is very counterintuitive in what you would think of an attack-based champion. I would have loved if he was instead made as a support, or if he was made as an attack-based champion, have a better kind of attack-based skill set, and this block passive kind of thing, have it on the passive there, so he can be very, very strong, but until he gets a turn. So you would make him very slow, very nuke heavy, maybe very tanky attacker, and then in that way Ramantu would have been used as, you know, in the attack role instead of just as a support, as applying that block passive skills and block active skills. So far I'm not that impressed, and I knew I wasn't going to be impressed by Ramantu, unfortunately, and that's the way it is. I'm going to not have the increased attack. That's bad, but I'll still try to do something here. Let's remove the buffs. Look at that. Block active skills, block passives. Let's try and do this on her. Decrease speed also. And I should be able to take all of these out. Oof. HP burn. And because we block the passive, we don't get a revive out of Torment. And that's pretty much how it goes. Let me go against this Ramantu. I don't even know how strong he's going to be. I don't know who will get the protection. Yeah, I'll still need to go with Hegemon here because he's probably speed tuned, and I'm not speed tuned with my own Warlord. I still need very good gear on Warlord, and I just don't have it at the moment. I need very high speed immunity gear, which I just don't have. Very lucky here with the block active skills by... Wow, he increased my cooldowns. I wonder if I'm gonna have my skills ready, because the enemy Ramantu went twice and he hit my own Ramantu. Okay, we didn't get a turn. We managed to do this. Let's go with the big A3. Basically lock this. Wow. Okay, swift parry, and let's just put this on auto, and it's gonna be over very, very soon. So you see Ramantu's plays, really it's very niche. He's questionably better than other champions in that specific role of removing buffs and applying that block passives and block actives. But other than that, he doesn't provide that huge wow factor that all the other reward legendaries do, and that's why I think you shouldn't really rush or spend your way to get onto getting Ramantu. He should be just something that you will eventually complete, and especially the glyphs, like those can take a long time. So don't worry too much about Ramantu, guys. I think this video really shows on how niche he can be, especially on big accounts like mine with multiple legendaries, which gives a lot of options. If you don't have those options, like if he's something that will change your account, then by all means go for him. But I'm just saying that if you have multiple other options, so if you have a defense down champion like Madame, she's still very useful. It's just very situational when he's better than Madame. So I would argue that players who get Ramantu very, very fast don't even need to bother about this video. The players who are watching this video are just players who are interested to see if he's really worth all that trouble, and you guys are seeing that he's not worth all that trouble. You see that he doesn't do all that damage. If you build him in this way with like almost 600 accuracy, he can't do all that damage. His speed is also very low in this kind of setup with an immunity set plus perception plus high accuracy. And also this accuracy is not that high anymore with the faction guardians and faction empowerments. I'm finding myself that I'm getting resisted a lot, even with 600 accuracy on both my Madame, my Warlord. So the game gets tougher, and champions that cannot be faction empowered that easily, like Ramantu, will find it troublesome. I mean, it's much easier to faction empower Arbiter and give her a bigger value compared to Ramantu, as an example, or even Lydia, because Lydia is empowered by Visix, which is a champion we had for a long time, so players might have had some dupes on her. But Ramantu, he's got a dupe
Um, let's go and see the dupe. It's Chagger, I think, the one that we just had released. So this guy right here empowers Ramantu, which is kind of insane to think that they will put a brand new Void Legendary as the empowerment for Ramantu. I guess it makes sense just to not make Ramantu that crazy good. But then you see Mithrala, who just needs a Blind Seer, which Blind Seer was available for a long time before that. Anyway, that's a different part. This was the Ramantu showcase, guys. I'm not that excited about him. I built him honestly just for a video, and skilled him up for the CVC, and just to get lots of points to the CVC, like 30k points plus the books, plus the masteries, plus all the ascensions and the rank ups and everything. That gave me a good amount of points for the CVC. But other than that, I won't be using him that often, as you saw in my arena fights. I would rather be using my Warlord instead of Ramantu there for a much more controlled increase of cooldowns instead of the block active skills or the block passive skills. Very situational, but definitely useful and very unique. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a good holidays, and I'll see you guys soon. See ya!